Executive Director of all YouTube and live videos is telling me that we're on live. I hope you can hear me. I'm assuming that you can. My name is Mark Laurie. I'm the Superintendent of Schools. I'm going to ask our Executive Director, Joey Ruffalo, if he could tell me if this is being taped. Will this be taped and saved or no? So if you're not able to find this at the beginning, if you missed it, we will post this video for you tomorrow, which will be the 21st of April. And I appreciate all the help that we're getting technologically from our friends here in the district. So again, my name is Mark Laurie. We are here to talk about the move from 6 feet to 3 feet in the Niagara Falls City School District. And thank you very much for watching. Let me give you some information and we'll answer some questions for you. And again, we'll post this many times. And we've got a young man with very strong arms holding the camera up for the next 3 or 4 hours. No, I'm kidding. We won't keep him that long. Let's get right to our work then. First of all, we are a universal mask district. Face coverings or face masks are to be worn at all times in the school. I want to thank our students for following that rule and that expectation. We've had no problems with that. Any move we make, I don't see this going away for a good long period of time. Masks, single masks, are expected to be worn at all times. That's number one. Number two, who are we talking about here? Let's narrow down the group. Parents, staff, if you have a totally remote student right now, that student will remain remote throughout the remainder of this school year. If you're a remote student in any grade, you will stay with your teacher, you'll finish your school year out, and we expect you to get all your work done. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the blue and gold students, okay? Students who are colored green, and there's 10% of you, are already going 4 days. What are the 4 days we're talking about? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Everyone will become a green student, okay? So if you only went to school on Monday and Tuesday, starting next week, the 26th of April, you will go to school on Thursday and Friday. On Wednesday, everyone will remain synchronous and asynchronous, where their teachers are posting their lessons. If you go to school on Thursday and Friday, usually, you'll also come Monday and Tuesday. We are only talking about our elementary students, our pre-K to 6 students only, 8 schools only. We are not talking about our 2 prep schools. They would be Gaskill and LaSalle Prep, nor are we talking about Niagara Falls High School. These are our 8 elementary schools. These 8 schools are the only schools that fall under the health category of returning at 3 feet. Gaskill, LaSalle, and Niagara Falls High School do not fall under that category. Why and when could they? Well, they could, but they would need to have fewer than 100 positive cases throughout the county for every 100,000 people. On Friday, that number was 372. Today, the number is 327. That's still 227 cases away from being able to come in. So who are we talking about? Our elementary school students only, pre-K to 6. Again, if you are a fully remote elementary student, you stay fully remote. If you're a blue student, you now become a blue and gold, which makes green. So you'll come 4 days. If you're a gold student, you'll become a green student. You'll come 4 days. Next. Each of the individual schools will assess the space requirements they have. And one of the areas that may require some extra space to be used is the lunchroom. In the lunchroom, that is a time when you can take your mask down to eat and drink your lunch or breakfast. The children should be 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart in a lunchroom or breakfast room when they're eating. In a classroom, they should be 3 feet apart. Somebody asked me in the questions, what's the definition of 3 feet? Is it the desks? We're saying nose to nose, 3 feet apart. All of the students should be facing forward or to the side. The bottom line is they all should be facing one way. We are working right now on busing. Busing Monday The 26th, which would be the first day we'd start this, is going to be a little bit slow. We're going to be able to put more students on a bus for a short period of time, so please bear with us. When the weather's nice, and it doesn't look like it's going to be nice tomorrow, but once we get through this week and the weather's nice, I'm encouraging as many classes, especially our phys ed classes that need to have distance, to go outside and enjoy the outside weather. If your child is sick, the symptoms of COVID, please keep your child home. If your child is sick, please stay home. That never changes. Also, every Wednesday we will continue to have BINX testing. And if you want your child tested, you should bring them to central office on Wednesday. You should call ahead 286-0788, 286-0788, and our nurses and Dr. Civaroli will set you up with a BINX test. From time to time, we're going to ask you to complete a survey. We will randomly select a school, and your teacher will give you this survey to take home. Parents, please fill it out and turn it into your teacher. Each school is designated to find out their own way to individually space schools. Some of the schools are moving furniture to make room. Some of the schools are adding lunch facilities. We're communicating this plan to you tonight. We'll communicate this plan to our Board of Education again on Thursday, and we'll post it on our website. However, this only pertains to elementary school students right now and to hybrid students. If you're a hybrid elementary student, those are the only group of kids that we're talking about. What we're doing is we're doubling the number of days of work, schoolwork you're coming into. Let me just get some of these questions, and they're very good ones. And again, you can call in if you have more of them. The first question is, how will you space kids out with 100% or class sizes at 25? Well, there will be a few classes that size. And if a class is that big, we've asked and allowed the teacher to move to a bigger space, maybe a STEM room, maybe a library, maybe a place that there's more space in the school. Most cases only have 30% of their full capacity, 70% of their full capacity coming back, because remember I told you that 30% of the kids will stay fully remote. So that means that I'm going to try and take a nice easy one here, that if a class has 20 students, on the average, that would be only the return of 14, because 30% of 20, and I hope I'm right with that math, I think I'm right, 30% would be 6 kids would still be remote. That would be 14 kids would come back. The distance will be between face-to-face, and the desks will be facing forward. If your child has a history of health problems, they probably aren't in school 2 weeks right now. You probably wrote that letter to keep them out remote, and that still would be the case. Why is it important that we do this now? It's important that we do this now so that kids can get back into school. Despite the best effort of our teachers and administrators and staff, nothing replaces full-time school for students. Nothing replaces that. The remote learning has been a good alternative, but not in replacement of what we need, and that's to have kids come back to school. So it's worth doing for the last 8 or 9 weeks so that kids can get back in the rhythm of the day. We will have a summer program that we hope can be in person as well. We will do all the safety precautions there. Why are we only doing 4 days? Wednesday will remain a day that we aren't coming into school. That's a day of training for our teachers. That will be a day when we have staff development, but your teachers will post lessons for you to do. That answers the question of a more slow return. Somebody asked a really good question about Tuesdays for elementary. A really good question. No, all in-person days are until 3 o'clock. We used to have a 2 o'clock dismissal on Tuesday. It's a super good question. All 4 days are full. Elementary is 8:45 to 3 o'clock. All 4 days are 8:45 to 3 o'clock. The 2 o'clock Tuesday is no longer in play for this year. How will mask breaks work? We're really, we are discouraging any mask breaks unless in the case of an emergency that a student needs to, and that student should be moved away in far distance from a student. Let's talk about quarantining. Our transmission rate in schools have been very low, especially in the elementary level. Science has proven that's the safest place to come back and the most necessary place for kids to be. If a student is positive, tested positive, we will ask that teacher for any student around him or her that has been closer to that student for less than 6 feet, which would be 3 feet, for more than 10 minutes. What is important about that? If your child is sick, exhibiting any signs of illness, please keep your child home. Please, please, please. If you're not sure, have your child tested, and we do that here at the Board of Education. Will there be summer and enrichment programs? Absolutely. We'll probably do another one of these live videos, hopefully where our executive producer doesn't have to hold the camera the whole time and tell you about all the summer programs. But there will be K-12 summer programs, enrichment programs, and we're hoping camp. Community spread is, it kind of peaked last week at the end of the week on Friday. Today, 1 case. Yesterday, 2 cases. We think it's going to start to decline. If we see a community spread when we're back 4 days, or we see multiple cases, we can always retreat to 2 days a week, 2 days a week. We can always go back to the way it was today or on Friday. The goal is to try to get students back to school as soon as possible. So I'm getting a note here that says the NFCSD 6 to 3, it's live now. Try a refresh and look for the live feed if you need to. If things aren't working well for you technologically, try a refresh, look for the live feed. We're live now. We have 1 district employee who's going to have very sore arms tomorrow for holding the camera. Why? So a lot of questions about why now. Why now? Because the spread is, we believe it's starting to decrease. We believe that we can do this safely and spread students out. We know we can retreat if we need to. We also know these are the students that have already been in school with us. We're not bringing back those students who have been remote at any point during the year, from the beginning, or if they picked up remote during the year. We're talking only about hybrid students and only about hybrid elementary students. We're not talking about 7 through 12 when the spread has seemed to increase more and the variants seem to have been or could be more scientifically harmful. Just as an aside, something we're trying to do with the help of our partners, especially at Niagara Falls Memorial Medical Center, is we're trying to see if we can't get some of our students, our 16-year-old students and older, vaccinated using the Pfizer vaccine. That's something that we're working on. There's a meeting about that tomorrow, and we know that that will help our older students. But in the meantime, right now, this includes just elementary. Does it include pre-K3 students? The answer is yes. Pre-K3 to grade 6, all 8 elementary schools. Tomorrow there is school. There should be a synchronous lesson posted for all students or an asynchronous lesson posted for tomorrow. School is on. It's on the computer tomorrow, but it is on. There is no relief. And the good news is, if this bad weather comes, which I hope it doesn't or doesn't come badly tonight, the kids will be at home and they'll be able to get their lesson online. So there is school tomorrow. There is a synchronous or asynchronous lesson to be posted. Again, the classes are not canceled for tomorrow, which would be the 21st. It just may mean that the classes are posting asynchronous lessons, meaning the work is being put up there for you, and students are working. Something that we're working towards for the hybrid students is to make sure that there's a smooth transition on Monday. Monday, April 26th is when we're doing this. We have our bus company working very hard to make this happen. We ask your patience and indulgence. It's almost like the first day of school again for busing. Please be patient with us. We'll route kids. Students must have and need to continue to wear a mask. We need to bring kids back slowly. We're bringing them back slowly, calling elementary students back. We're bringing them with masks on, and we're bringing them with 3 feet of distance. This is what the health department, the CDC says can occur, and this is what is occurring in most locations. And again, it's only the elementary students. All right, I'm looking for questions that I may not have answered. We think we did those. We did those. Again, if you have specific questions about locations of the desks, spacing, please contact your child's principal directly. They'll help you. They'll help you see the room. They'll help you see the classroom. Hopefully they will allay your fears or concerns. We do appreciate you having those concerns. Our goal is to continue to bring more kids back more days. Our fallback option, if things don't work well or the spread increases, we will retreat to the day like today. So that's easy to do. Now the difficult thing to do is to try and move kids back into school, and we can do it. This has been a good, solid community effort, and we'll be able to get this done. We're getting some more questions here, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Granary. Okay, thank you. Couldn't hear the audio on the YouTube and tuned in late. Yeah, we're doing it. It's elementary only. That's okay. We've had some technical difficulties. We now have hired a gentleman to just hold the camera for the next 4 hours, and his arms are getting sore, but that's okay. He'll be building up muscles. This question says, hoping to get the kids back 5 days. For the remainder of this year, we're going to try it 4 days and leave that Wednesday open. It will start this Monday for the caller who just turned in. It will start this Monday. Here's a really good question. What if our child is not comfortable moving to 4 days? We really don't have another option. We just don't have enough ability to have 3 different schools. We can't have a 2-day school, a 4-day school, and a remote school. We can only have a 4-day school in elementary and a remote school. I would ask you, if your child is uncomfortable, to give it a try, to speak to your child's principal, to speak to your child's teacher, to take a look at the room, to work with the school to see if we can't make this work. Very soon, and I'm hoping in September, we'll be back to full 5 days. When I signed up my child for in-person school, it was hybrid. Is switching to remote an option? Right now, that's kind of the same question. We would ask you to try with us the 4 days. If your child is having seasonal allergies, the best thing I could tell you would be to get a doctor's note. Then we would have to look and have to try with a doctor's note saying that it's not in the best interest of your child to go totally remote. And of course, that would require changing teachers, and it would require some change. Synchronous Wednesdays Wednesdays will be normal. Tomorrow you can expect more asynchronous work just for tomorrow. But there is school tomorrow, more asynchronous work, and then throughout the rest of the year, Wednesdays will remain both synchronous and asynchronous. Will Wednesdays still be on Teams? Yes. Yep, please stay with your child's teacher. Yeah, there's a concern about high reports. All I can tell you is we have to deal with the reports in our district. So today we had 1 case, it was in the middle school. Yesterday 2. We think that it's going to start dropping down. We hope and pray if everyone continues their safety precautions, then it will drop down. Students will be spread on buses. They have to face forward, wearing masks. Hopefully most of the bus runs will be short. If we can't get as many students on a bus as we want to, we'll have a second run. I don't think that that's going to be a problem. Was the problem for closure, so there's no disruption? There won't be any. If we have to have a closure because of an outbreak in a class, we've done this before. I know we've done it at Maple, Man, Cataract, 79th. I believe we've done it at those schools. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. If we see things going the wrong way, we'll stop, pivot back. We can do that too. We can do that too. We have to move forward with this effort. It's imperative that our kids get the learning opportunities that they need, especially in the younger grades. Especially in the younger grades. Can I promise you there won't be a pivot back? No, I can't. Remember, we will quarantine if someone is closer than 6 feet for more than 10 minutes. Closer than 6 feet for more than 10 minutes. That's why, if your child is sick, please keep your child home. All right. Talked about the increasing rates. We'll monitor these very closely. And because of the increasing rates, that's why we're only doing this in elementary school. We cannot do this in our middle school or senior high school. The rates are too high. You're hearing this today. We'll continue to make announcements tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We hope that you have some time to plan. We're willing and excited to take your children in school for 4 days. We do know that families do need to make some adjustments in their schedules. We appreciate that, and we'll be patient with you as we do this. Reading again a question about seasonal allergies. Again, doctor's notes are necessary. Not comfortable moving to 4 days, please work with the school. We think we can show you and demonstrate to you how your child who will have his same teacher can come safely back to school. Thank you, Mr. Granieri. If someone wants to give input, please feel free to email me. My email is mlaurrie, Laurrie, at nfschools.net. You think we hope that our move from two days to 4 days isn't a back and forth. We'll do things to keep kids safe. We hope that it's not something that we have to move back and forth. If we do that much shifting, then we won't move forward. Schools are going back for the hybrid students only beginning Monday. Each elementary school will notify the families. They should. Your principals will make announcements. I'll speak to them tomorrow. The days are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, somebody asked if they wanted to speak to me. The best way to do that would be to email me. Somebody asked a question about teachers that are fully vaccinated. I don't have an exact number, but I can give you an estimate. The estimate is about 70, and it's not just teachers, it's the whole school community. About 75%, maybe a little bit higher now. There's a lot of available vaccinations, and our teachers have done a great job getting vaccinated. So hopefully we're close to 80% now, which is a really good number, and I know more vaccinations are becoming available. On a bus, students will face forward, they'll be masked, they'll be spread out. Some people are saying that they may need more time for notification of childcare. That's certainly reasonable. We'll give you time. We'll give you the proper amount of time you need. That's a school-by-school decision. Please let your principal know, but please know we need to move forward with this, and we need to have kids coming back for 4 days. These are only the hybrid students. They've been in 2 days. I recognize that it's, for some, there'll have to be some arrangements that are made. I recognize and appreciate that. And if you can't start on Monday, but can start on Thursday, and then into the following week, that's fine. We'd like to give our families the option of beginning Monday, okay? All right. And again, please feel free to email me with your comments or your questions. I'm happy to listen and look at those. How are you doing holding the camera? Are you okay, sir?
Good.
That's good.
We have 105 viewers.
105 viewers, that's great. this has been a very, and thank you to Mr. Ruffalo, who has been working some magic with technology. We appreciate his work in central office, and we appreciate his work this evening on making this happen, as well as our whole team. So this is always a team effort, but it's my responsibility, along with the Board of Education, to make the best decisions. It's my thinking that this move for elementary school students, which is in line with what the CDC and the health department recommends, that it's good.
Is this plugged in?
Here's a couple good questions. The lunchroom. There may be alternate sites in the lunchroom. We may have to have more tables in different areas. We'll have to spread kids out 6 feet in lunchrooms. Now remember, again, 30% of our students will remain, in a totally remote setting. Just to demonstrate, here's my mask. It's the one I wear and clean. It should cover your nose. It should cover your mouth. It should look something like this. I think the man with the camera is nodding. I think it looks okay. I can't see how it looks. I like this. It's a cloth mask. It's pretty thick. It's comfortable. And I wear it quite frequently, and I wash it. I have another one that's like this, and I wash it every other night. So I wear this every other day. Then I have another one that I wear while this one's being washed and cleaned. Again, if you have comments or questions or need more time, I'm happy to listen to that. Doesn't sound like I've been on a school bus. I have been on a school bus before. I understand, and we'll do our best to make sure school buses are safe. Okay, I'm looking at questions here. Seeing if there's any. Again, there is school tomorrow. It is an asynchronous posting day. It will be every Wednesday. We'll have school for our kids. A good thing to do is speak to your child's principal after tomorrow when we go through this. A lot of the questions are stating that we may not be ready to start Monday. That's totally fine and totally acceptable. We'll be patient. The expectation is that we bring kids back. We certainly can give you a few more days. We just wanted to pick a starting date. I understand that this may sound rushed or quickly rolled out. It takes time to get all the information and the facts together. So please, we understand if you need to make other arrangements. Yeah, the questions about the lunchroom. Questions about the lunchroom, that will be up to the schools to spread out. Thank you, Ray. This is a question about doctors aren't giving notes to return to school with COVID testing. You can certainly call our doctor, Dr. Civaroli, for help with that question. Again, another question about time factor. We'll work with you. We'll be patient with you. We just want to move forward. Okay? Again, I'm not talking because I'm looking down at questions. And we mentioned that it does include pre-K3 students. I have been on a school bus. Again, if you would like to contact me, please do so. And make sure that you leave your email or callback number so that I can get back to you, and that we'll work with you. We're talking just about hybrid students, not totally remote students. If you're remote, you stay totally remote. Right. Good. I'll wait. Let's see. It's moving on 6:45. We will continue to wait if there are more questions. How many viewers do we have there, sir?
We have 103.
Good. And we will post this video. So people are asking, can we have input? Sure, you can. We can work with you. We can give you a chance to speak directly. Please Make sure that you email me directly. I've given you my email address, mlaurie@nfschools. I'll be happy to individually answer those questions with you. I hear the printer printing for more questions. And we'll wait a couple more minutes. And I thought we heard the printer printing. Remember, this is only elementary school students that we're speaking of. Thank you. The question about if our kids aren't ready to start right away, certainly your teachers will work with children. This has been a very choppy year as it's been to follow a sequenced curriculum. So we have to work with each kid. Every classroom will work with you. No one will be penalized if you don't start the first day. We just want to make this move forward. The question about lunches wasn't answered. Kids are eating lunches. So the principals have a plan for where to spread their lunchrooms out. There's additional staff being put on plan. I don't have the layout of every school. In some cases, a new lunch is being added at a time that wasn't originally there. So that means there may be, a different time kids would eat lunch. But we're trying to work through this together and be patient and flexible as we do so. So, yeah, there will be supervision in a proper place with proper distancing to eat lunch. Okay? Again, I want to make sure I go through all of these and look at them. Yeah, it was a really interesting and good question about needing more time to get started, and then we have to work with kids slowly as we return. We have to work to get them back, to start to catch them up, to work individually with kids. The kids have been coming 2 days a week, that's great. We're looking to double that to 4 days a week. So, and a lot of questions about, having input. I'm certainly willing to look at each individual case and each individual situation. The difficulty would be having 3 or 4 different schedules. A 2-day, a 1-day, a 4-day, or remote schedule. That's pretty difficult to do. We're trying to get kids back into school more frequently. That's where they really should be. And we'll work with you if you have an issue with the starting date. So I hear the printer coming. Thank you, Ray. Okay. Question, how do our employees feel about it? Our employees, I can't speak for every one of them, but our employees know that this is their job, that they have to teach kids. And I know that I can't speak for every single person and every single one of them, but I think it's true that everybody wants to get back to some normalcy and some routine, especially for our younger children who need to have a return to what they were used to and hopefully what was being good for them. I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer. Sorry for the dead air here. We still have, it's about, let me just check, it's about 10 minutes to 7. We'll wait a couple more minutes. I hear the printer. We'll go for about 2 or 3 more minutes. Thank you for your patience. Yeah, we're going to stay on just for a couple more minutes. Yeah, thank you, Ray. Thank you. I hope the staff feels safe. I really do. We'll continue to wear masks, and we'll continue to make the best decisions we can for kids. Again, the goal is to get kids back into school. I appreciate those people that have called to support. That is good. This does affect PE. We will be looking at opening up swimming for students, and the teachers are excited about getting kids back in school to work with them. They're excited about being able to go outside. They're excited about possibly getting in the pool if your school has a pool, and working that safely. I know our swimming teams are swimming, our boys team is done, our girls team is swimming. So phys ed still is 6 feet. Band and music, where you're using a lot of air, is still at 6 feet. Of course, everyone is still masked. I know it's not ideal, but we're trying to get kids back. How about if we wait just one more minute, and then we'll move forward. And again, I'm happy to listen to you. I would prefer if you'd if you have a more personal question or disagreement or approval, if you'd write to me at mlaurie@nfschools.net. That way we have a record of everything that's come in, just as we have a record of here. And then if need be, we can have a future conversation by speaking to you directly. So I'll have your email to converse back and forth with you on, or ask for your phone number so I can speak to you directly by phone. Happy to do that. More than happy to do that. Okay? We'll take our last group of questions here. Thank you, sir. Oh, that's all right. Here we go, our last group. Okay. Thanks. And this is a person who's writing me here. Please make sure that you email me separately from these questions if you have a question on that. I would appreciate it. Well, thank you very much, especially Mr. Ruffalo, who did a lot of work tonight to get this finally pulled off. We were trying to embed a video with a PowerPoint slide. That's what caused a little bit of our trouble this evening. And again, everything's not always perfect. We do the best we can. And we have tried to do the best we can for our kids. And we will, of course, keep them safe and do what we can to get them back to school and back to learning. Thank you for listening. I know we'll try to post this video as soon as we possibly can. Appreciate the comments. Please make sure that you email me separately, and I'll, happy to respond back to you and answer any of your questions personally. I promise to do that over the next couple of days. So thank you very much. We appreciate all the comments, questions, inquiries, and support, and I thank you and wish you a very good evening. Take care.